Hi everyone, my name is Jay Sable and I'm the Executive Director of the One Community 501c3 nonprofit organization. The purpose of our organization is to create open source blueprints for complete sustainable civilizations and to transform the world positively and permanently for everyone. We are a group of world-changing people simultaneously addressing all of the challenges of our generation and generations to come for two reasons. Number one, because we think it's possible, we know it's possible. And number two, because we see food, energy, housing, education, social inequality, and injustice, living a fulfilled life of contribution and individual growth. We see all of these things, happiness, connected with food, energy, housing, education, all of this stuff. We see it all as connected and interdependent. And so, with that understanding and clearly seeing those connections, we're bringing together the people around the world who are interested in creating a new way of living that simultaneously addresses all of these things and can truly transform our planet for the benefit of all life and all things here. And so, this is our weekly video blog, update number 34, covering our progress for the week of October 14th, 2013. And so, as is always the format of these blogs, first off, there is a written blog that goes along with this that has all the images and all the links to all the details of everything that we're working on. Our comprehensive open source website is immense and growing every single week, every single day. And so, if you'd like to see the details of all this stuff, you can go to the written blog, and the link to that is in the YouTube description, and you can check it out. And see those pictures and click on those links, or just go to our website and click on the link that says blog, and you can scroll through all of our weekly updates, all the 33 before this one. Every week we do one of these. The other thing is I'm going to go through a quick bullet point summary of everything that we've accomplished, and then what I'll do is I'll come back around and I'll then go over each of those items one by one. And as part of the written blog, we always do a time-stamped version of this, so if you wanted to just read the written blog and jump to a specific part of this video, you could do that as well. So without further ado, let's jump in. World-changing people, making a difference, creating something amazing for the benefit of everyone. And our organization is the highest good for all organization. So our goal is to live and create for the highest good of all life, all of humanity, all life on this planet, due to the absolute best of our ability, everything we can to create a planet that works for everybody. And we think that we can do this within our lifetime, have a positive and permanent effect on every single person on this planet in some way within our lifetime. And so we've got a very specific plan to do that in creating self-replicating, self-sufficient, and self-sustainable teacher demonstration communities, villages, and hubs to spread around the world and to help teach more people that will then teach more people, will then teach more people how to create sustainable, self-sufficient living that can benefit them on an individual level, benefit their surrounding community, and benefit the planet. And all of this contributes to the education model, to the social inequality, addressing social inequality and injustice, all this stuff. Tackling the very foundations, the very fabric of how it is that we choose to live, and addressing that foundation in a way that then evolves to further address the foundation and to reach out to all of the attached sectors and areas that are dependent on that foundation and are affected by that. And so this addresses crime, it addresses health, poverty, all of these things simultaneously. That's what we're doing. So this last week, this weekly update number 34, as I said, and this last week, here's the bullet point list of what we did. We are halfway done with the Zen Aquapini plants now up on the website. Those are, you can see what those are. We're done with our plastic research. It has been 5 weeks of researching plastics, another one of those areas, probably 30, 40 hours into it. We've got our water-saving shower heads page is up. The Sego Center open source portal has been updated and completely redesigned. I'm going to talk about details on all this stuff as I come around. Sego Center pantry design has been finalized in 3D. It's very exciting last week. We got queen bed furniture designs done for the Earthbag Village. We have full bed already. Now the queen bed is done. Straw Bale Village truss system designs are done in CAD, which is the structure for supporting Straw Bale Village. Strategies of Being page for the Education for Life program has been updated. We've got the behind the scenes, the math timeline is complete. So for the entire body of knowledge that is math, we've created the timeline of what that's going to look like for the Education for Life program. Put in about 4 more hours on the design, the individual image design for the different subjects, so math, social sciences, health, art and music, English. Each one of these, we have a template that we're going to be using, and so we put another 4 hours into that this last week. The 30 themes for the first 6 months plus of lesson plans on the web on the on the property are now complete, or rather the first person has gone through and completed those, and so now we've got more of our team doing checking in and actually adding to that as well. So, but the first layer of that is done. We've added, we finished linking to the sustainabilitynonprofit.org website. Was not linked completely to the onecommunityglobal.org website. Sustainability Nonprofit used to be our overview site. Now that site is thoroughly linked into our main site, onecommunityglobal.org. So that's exciting. We added security measures to our website because we're having all kinds of problems with hacking and deleting our database, which is really not a cool thing to do. And not fun for an organization like ours to have to back up from the day before and then restore all that stuff and redo all the work, because we're working every single day on our website. So even losing 1 day of work is a big deal. So we've added security measures and a whole bunch of additional backups, cool stuff there. And we announced 3 new partners, Kim Brahman, Eric Puro, and the Push.org, to our group as well. So add to the team. Very, very exciting. That's the overview. Let me talk in depth. Let's go into detail. How are we bringing this world-changing group of it's a global cooperative. How are we organizing? What are we doing with all these things in detail? Let's talk about that kind of stuff. So first thing I mentioned was we're halfway done with the Zenapini 1 plants. So the Zen Aquapini plants are up on the site. There's 60 different, I think there's 60 different plants. I'd say 70% of the plants that we're planting on that, Michael, our botanist, has chosen plants from all over the world that are endangered. They have amazing medicinal properties. They have amazing nutritional properties. And so half of those plants are up on the website now, including the complete details, descriptions, an image of the plant, a description of the plant. Some of these things aren't really described a whole lot on anywhere on the internet because they're so rare or so endangered, or they just don't have, there's no market for them, and so nobody's really put the time into describing them. And so you have to be an expert like Michael to know that these plants will grow in the environment that we're creating, to know that they even exist, and then to really know how to dig and find them using the Latin names and the combination of common names to dig up all the information out there. And so in some cases we're already becoming the definitive source of information, and we will definitely become the definitive source of information on this as time progresses, as we go into detail and build out individual pages for each one of these plants and our experience in growing it as part of our botanical garden, open source botanical garden model of supporting biodiversity and a selection of plants that most people have never, that more diverse than 99% of the people on this planet have ever seen. And so, and then teaching people how to take that into your backyard, how to add that into your own life and create your own little mini botanical garden in a Zen Aquapini, which is meant to be an aquaponic structure in a Wallapini, which is an in-ground structure, so it doesn't have such a huge profile, and it's easier to stabilize the temperature in there. And then growing all these amazing foods and all these amazing plants that have all these amazing benefits, and they're just beautiful. And producing that in such a way, we're open sourcing that so it can be duplicated in somebody's backyard, and then produce enough, in addition to that, produce enough lettuce, produce enough broccoli, produce enough cauliflower to feed your whole block, definitely feed your whole family. And then producing some of these amazing other fruits and vegetables and things like that that people have never even heard of, that you could actually add into your diet and supply at farmers markets or even sell to local grocery stores. The idea is to expand our concept of food and to make that available to anybody that wants to add that into their life. It's just one element, one small piece of this idea of transforming the planet. Zen Aquapini is just, it's minuscule and it's huge. It's so huge. And so we're excited to have half of those plants up on the website now, and we should hopefully get the rest of those plants up this week. So second thing that I mentioned was we got our plastic research done, and we updated our hoop houses page. So in the last one, if you want to check out our botanical garden model, go to onecommunityglobal.org/botanical garden. If you want to see the hoop houses page, which is now complete, /hoop-houses, and that was /botanical-garden. And so the hoop houses page has been updated. We had polycarbonate on there, and we decided that after further research that polyethylene is really the way to go with hoop houses. There's some amazing new product coming out of China, which is polycarbonate, and we have the link on the hoop houses page that links to that. If you wanted to buy a flexible polycarbonate, a 6mm flexible polycarbonate that has a 10-year warranty, we did the research on that, found a company where you could have it shipped by container and have tons of it delivered, and with a 10-year warranty could be great. Doing more research, however, and talking to a lot of local producers here in the United States, polyethylene seems like it's a better choice. It's a fraction of the cost. It comes with a 4-year warranty. They were very clear that this new product out of China, they just don't feel that it has the durability that they say that it is. We talked to at least one person who had experience with it, said that hail destroyed some of this stuff that they were using. And the reality of it was, when we looked at the polyethylene, which comes with a 4-year warranty and is said to last for most people 6 or 7 years, the price of it is a quarter of what it is, even less than that. I mean, it's a fraction of what the polycarbonate is. And so polycarbonate is great. We're going to use a dual layer polycarbonate for the roof in the tropical atrium, as well as the roofs for the aquapinis and wallopinis, unless further research turns up something else. But it looks like dual layer polycarbonate, much thicker, has great insulatory properties, and works really well for that because it's a rigid panel. But the flexible rolls of polycarbonate just didn't, after weeks and weeks of research, we finally said, okay, now it looks like polyethylene is the way to go. And so if you'd like to see the details on that, we found 3-4 companies. The prices are pretty consistent throughout the nation, and so it's really about who's closest to you and shipping costs and for those details. But we added the top 3 companies that we found for sourcing polyethylene onto the hoop houses page. And so that page is complete now. And it should be said that we actually, along with all this research, we realized that we probably aren't going to need to build hoop houses. They'll add a minimum of a month to each end of a growing season, maybe up to 2 months to each end of a growing season. But for the property that we have chosen, the location that we have chosen, that really won't make a big enough difference to warrant the extra cost. But in this research, we were able to bring the cost down on creating 2 full acres of hoop houses to where it's really quite affordable for anybody that wanted to do that, maybe in a colder climate where those extra couple months would make a huge difference. And so you can see all that research, all those details on the hoop houses page. Also, we got our showerheads page up. So Earthbag Village update. Earthbag Village being the most affordable of sustainable building that we found is now up on the showerheads page. Sorry, I'm bouncing around. That showerheads page now is up on there. It's the product of 30 hours of research. Last week I said it was about 10 hours, and Renee said, no. That was 30 hours of research. It didn't take 10 hours. And I believe it because it took us at least 10 hours just to get the page up. So all in all, the Water Saver Showerheads page, which if you want to see that on our website, /water-saving-showerheads, or go to the written blog link and there'll be a link in there. We researched all the showerheads, water-saving showerheads that were out there. We read all the reviews of what's available. We looked at all the different features that they had, and the features are diverse. And we realized, man, there's a lot of options here, and a shower is a super important part of most people's day. And so we realized that it would be an area that we're definitely going to want to open source and share our experience with, because one community it will be the ultimate environment for doing that. You have a group of 50 people starting out that are working hard every single day out there building food, housing, energy infrastructure in close confined area, so hygiene becomes really important because we're living in one big structure as we build all of this infrastructure. and then sore muscles and tired bodies and working hard. And I think a shower is going to become pretty important for everybody on there. And so the diversity of options that are available, and we've got to save water because it's foundational to our highest good for all philosophy, and actually evaluating how much water we're using and monitoring that and demonstrating minimal use. So having the right shower head, maximum water conservation, is super important to our project, but we thought it would be a really, really great thing that we could contribute as open source content. And so that shower page shows exactly how the 12 shower heads that we picked out. Then you start with, we also, for the ones that you could buy on Amazon, we added links down there at the bottom to Amazon so you can read the Amazon reviews on all these things where people have done that. And then we will expand that open source page with our own experience, evaluating what people like, which shower heads, why we like the different shower heads, how long they last, what the maintenance is, how easy they were to install, all that different stuff, and doing it side by side for all 12 of these shower heads, and then taking that information and applying it to the straw bale village when we build that, and then evolving from there. And so it's a great example of what we're doing with open source. When we talk about that we're creating the solution to everything, that we're creating a globally transformational project that addresses the foundations of everything that our generation is dealing with right now and what can be expected for generations to come. Water conservation is definitely on the map, and this open source showerhead portal is a great example of how we're addressing that. It's, once again, just like the Zen Aquapini, it's one small piece. This open source showerhead page is just one small piece, but it's huge to really share that information and demonstrate what the difference is between a $10 water saving showerhead, if there is one, and an $80 water saving showerhead, and then exposing people to those differences. And same thing for the public that'll be visiting one community, coming to experience what it is that we're creating, experience this self-sufficient, sustainable lifestyle, and everything that goes around it, the fulfilled living aspect that will make it desirable to the mainstream public, so that they recognize that it provides a more enriched and fun and enjoyable living experience, so that they want to duplicate it, so that private sector money will start building self-sufficient and self-replicating teacher demonstration communities, villages, and cities all over the world that will further teach more people how to do this and start sharing this idea of what's possible for us and how we can have a better education system, and how we can have better food, and how we can have cleaner water, and how we can have cleaner air, and how we can have these super sustainable and affordable and ecologically sensitive and intelligent living structures that are also artistic and beautiful. All these different things, taking that to the places where it's needed most within the world and within this country and even other developed countries. That kind of idea is something like the shower heads is really a big deal. And so when people come and visit one community, the different shower and the communal shower space, the different shower stalls will be named after their shower heads, so that somebody can try the different shower heads for themselves and decide which one they like, and then they can contribute their feelings about it to the global cooperative that's talking about this kind of stuff, and we can put that information up on the website, and then they can go buy a shower head like this for themselves. One person influencing another person, and starting a movement of people conserving water because they found a shower head that they like better than the one that they've already had, maybe. And then they can say, oh, I've already experienced this, and I want to add this to my home at home, or I'm building a guest house, I'm going to use this shower head. So, seems like a little thing, but it's actually a really big thing, and it's a great example. 30 hours of research went into just the research for that page, and then another 10 plus hours just getting it up. So the page is done up on the website. Check it out. Send us any questions or comments that you have, and we'll evolve the frequently answered questions section, and happy to help out. So also I mentioned the Sego Center open source portal has been updated. So this is another one. The Sego Center is a duplicable city hub, for those that don't know it. And the purpose of the duplicable city hub is to demonstrate a super ultra sustainable high-tech version of sustainability, LEED Platinum certified, ADA compliant, recreation center, city center, that in our model for one community will replace individual bathrooms, individual bathrooms. Replace individual kitchens, individual laundry rooms. The individual bathrooms are replaced by a communal shared bathroom as well as a separate communal shared shower. And so the the Sego Center replaces the kitchens, the bathrooms, or sorry, the kitchens, the laundry room, and living rooms for the individual residences. And so the idea with this is so that we can build earth bag village homes that are 200 square feet. And they're really more like a really cool artistic dormitory type of room or an artistic hotel type of room as far as what's contained with that in that, because the entire lifestyle that we're creating at one community is meant to get people out of their homes. It's really meant to demonstrate that sitting and watching TV is, for us, for the people in our organization, really is not a way that any of us spend our time. Instead, we want to be a part of world change. We want to be a part of personal enrichment and growth. We want to be a part of interaction. And then for private spaces and places to get away and social and recreational spaces that would normally be a living room, that's what the Sego Center is for. It provides a whole bunch of great places to just get away and sit and quietly read a book in the corner and just enjoy natural sunlight. All of our other structures on the property are like that. The Tropical Atrium has has space that's built into it where it's really designed for going and sitting in a really beautiful green temperature-controlled environment and just relaxing. Each of our structures has something like that built into it, so that rather than provide that in an individual home where, it's always available to that individual, but now it's not available to anybody else, instead, let's make the homes that are really purposed for the things that individuals really absolutely need an individual space for. Intimacy and sleeping, and a place, if you really want, just a place that you call your home where you got your pictures and things that are really personal things. And then for places that are recreational spaces, or a space to read a book, or a space to listen to music or something like that, let's create spaces specifically purposed to that would be superior to what it is that you would experience in your own individual home, even if you've got a really beautiful mansion or something like that. And so the Sego Center Duplicable City Hub is exactly that. It's a duplicable city hub that provides an environment that would be far superior to 99% of the people on this planet's home environment as far as a place to hang out. But it services 300 to 500 people. It's dining for 150 people at a time. It's laundry for 300 people. It saves space. It saves resources. In building it saves tons of resources because of what it replaces. But long term, it saves even more resources because the idea of communal dining and communal showers, communal laundry and all that stuff, those things save tons and tons of resources when used long term, and it saves time. It saves tons and tons of time, so people have more free time to do the things that they want to do. And so the Sego Center has been created and the portal has been updated to really talk about why a duplicable city hub is so important and what the value of it would be to spreading global transformation and to teacher demonstration communities, villages, and cities to be built around the world, why it would appeal to world-changing people that are interested in making a difference and also having a lifestyle that really, really supports and enriches them as an individual also. And so check out the page. Check out the page that we've created. Check out the redesigned platform and the open source hub and take a look and see what that is all about. So along with that, we've also finished in this last week, we finished the Sego Center pantry design. And so that is in 3D. And so you can actually see what the pantry looks like. The Sego Center pantry has all glass, has a front and back glass wall, so there's no place for mice or bugs or anything to hide from the light. Eliminates most of the problems that would happen in a traditional pantry. It's got sliding doors on it, so those doors don't have to be opened up, so it's more space conservative. And then you can slide those doors open, which gives really easy access from the back for things coming in, delivery coming in from the back, then easy access from the front for cooking and preparing food, things like that. It's really an ingenious design. And so if you've been following our progress, every week we're trying to complete one chunk of the dining room. And then we're also working on the whole Sego Center 3D as well. So we've added windows, we've added sliding glass doors, we're creating that envelope, and then we're going to partner with, we'll be ready for P2S Engineering go to the next level with that, because our goal is to have as much passive heating and cooling as possible in this structure. So it is a true demonstration of cutting-edge sustainability and what's really, really possible, and ultra affordable. Ultra affordable to build, ultra affordable to maintain, and ultra affordable to heat and cool, but providing this beautiful environment for people to hang out so that they feel comfortable having a home that's really only a couple hundred square feet, because that's just where you go to sleep, to be intimate, to maybe relax and get away from everything else. But I'm not quite sure why you'd want to sit in your home to do that when you could go to these other beautiful places. You could find a quiet corner in the Sego Center and read a book or something like that, and it's all within 15 minutes walk. So there's a big picture here. What it is that we're doing, the Sego Center is a big part of that. So we completed the pantry is now done in 3D, and you can see pictures of that on the written blog, and we'll also add pictures of that to the actual open source portal as well, so you can see those images too. Very, very cool. We've got queen bed furniture designs are done, and we added a ladder for the Earthbag Village. So we talked about these 200 square foot earth domes. The reason why they're 200 square feet is because in the United States, a 200 square foot structure that doesn't have plumbing can be built without a permit in most places. All of ours will be permitted, so engineering and everything will be done on these structures, and they'll be permitted for people that need to permit them. But for people that live in counties where a structure 200 square feet or less, and we're actually going to demonstrate 150 square foot one too, because a lot of counties say it has to be less than 150 square foot footprint. So we'll demonstrate that also. You'll be able to build that without a permit, and so that's great. These structures are more earthquake resistant than other structures. They're tornado resistant because they're circular instead of square. They're just amazing, super energy efficient, super cheap, affordable structures to build. $5,000 to build a little guest house, pretty cool. So inside that, how do you maximize that space? And so Philip Gill is working on this. Oh, and I want to say that Carl Harris is the one that's doing the majority of the work on the Sego Center. Did the majority of the work on the Sego Center pantry, and phenomenal work on that. So Philip Gill is the person who's doing the design for the furniture, the custom furniture designs. And so you can see a picture of what we're talking about, what a queen-size bed will look like. And you'll be able to walk behind that queen-size bed in these circular earth domes, and then you'll have a his and hers little closet area that's back there where you can hang clothes and things like that, stack your different clothes, and then a little ladder that actually goes up into a loft above all that for storage, or you could even have like a kid's room or something that you would put up there, a little play area up there, because the earth domes are 15-foot high ceilings, so you could put a 6-foot high little loft area up in there, and it's really, really cool. So yeah, those designs are done as well. Moving forward on that. Also, we have Strawbale Village update. So Strawbale Village is village number 2. Purpose of the Strawbale Village is maximally expandable sustainability. So the Earthbag Village is maximally affordable sustainability, so you can build housing infrastructure anywhere in the world as affordably as possible. The Strawbale Village is maximally expandable, modularly expandable sustainability. So you could start with an Earthbag Village and build maybe 4 or 5 units for 4 or 5 families, and then as you added more people onto the village, you could expand that that Strawbale Village, adding on units, expanding the plumbing, expanding the heating, air conditioning system, all that stuff, expanding it out as you continue to build onto it, and simultaneously creating a larger protected area for food production. So the progress that we have with that, thanks to Dave Wallen in this last week, is we've started designing in CAD the truss system, the internal truss system that will support those straw bale arches. And so about every 12 feet you'll have a truss system that's in there that will then be a structure that you could also build additional storage up in, and some really cool space. You could house your heating and air conditioning units in there if you wanted to do that. We're designing in the water catchment off of all these structures, and so we've got a cross section that we'll share with you on that as well if you take a look at the written blog. Very, very cool progress. Fun to see this moving forward the way that it is, and yeah, so very cool. Strawbale Village moving forward. Strategies of being. So education, free education for life, we think is a really, really important thing. Educating people, giving people access to quality education anywhere in the world, if you got access to an internet connection, or even if you don't, if we can spread these ideas and put them out there in a way that people can take them and understand them, then they could take them into areas that don't have internet and still provide that. But once again, the solution, the comprehensive solution, is to get power and internet to those people, right? You know, the idea is, well, you have to have an internet connection, right? We should fix that so that other people all around the world have an internet connection and have access to a wealth of information. How do we do that? How do we put computers in areas where they aren't? Well, you build off-grid energy infrastructure and you design off-grid satellite-based internet access, which is exactly what it is that we're doing with One Community, and then you create a model that is sufficient or is attractive and affordable enough for people that have money to want to go and build that infrastructure in the places that need it the most. Not as a philanthropic or as a humanitarian endeavor, but as a full-on, completely, permanently established teacher demonstration community village and hub that will then share the resources, and education is one of the resources, with the surrounding community in cooperation and collaboration to help those people, just as those people are going to help the people setting it up in the building and providing labor and establishments. And so now we're working together. And we're bringing education to the people that need it the most, but we're not just bringing education, we're bringing power. We're not just bringing power, we're bringing food infrastructure. Not just bringing food infrastructure, we're bringing housing infrastructure. And in so doing, we are addressing the foundations of poverty. We are addressing the foundations of social injustice and inequality. We're addressing the foundations of everything simultaneously. So the Education for Life program is just one piece of that. But even if we were just focused on the Education for Life program, how do you get it into the hands of the people that need it the most, who don't have computers? Well, you need the infrastructure that's going to bring computers to those areas too. And that's what the rest of the One Community model is all about, is doing that. And why would people do that? Well, because the model in and of itself will provide a style of living and an experience that is far superior to people living even in developed nations. And then it's easier for them to duplicate these ideas in other nations that are less developed because there's less restrictions on building, things like that. So our goal is to make all that as easy as possible, and a part of that is the Education for Life program. So one big component of the Education for Life program, and there's 7 major elements of that, is the strategies of being. And so the strategies of being are strategies of great leaders, teachers, and communicators. And how to apply those within a community environment, within a classroom environment. And so that whole page has been updated and restructured based on the feedback that we got from people, so that when you go to it, you can click on the different sections and it'll take you to an overview of all the different strategies, and you can click on all the different strategies and it'll take you to the detailed strategies. It's probably one of the most beautiful pages to date on our website. It's got amazing, lots of images and quotes and stuff on there, and it's really to take the best strategies for teaching, leading, and communicating, and to take those into the classroom so that we're building those in to the education process, and we're teaching our kids how to be great teachers, leaders, and communicators and free thinkers, but we're also teaching our teachers how to be great leaders, teachers, and communicators as well. And so the classroom environment that we're creating is a two-directional communication where the student is giving constant feedback to the teacher, and the teacher is giving constant feedback to the student, and both of them are working together in collaboration on their educational program. And that's why we're creating all this other stuff. So the other thing I mentioned was that we've got, this last week, we've got our math timeline is done behind the scenes. And so taking math as one example, the timeline is looking at what does it take to learn math, starting with learning how to count, and then progressing to high-level calculus and advanced college class engineering, that kind of stuff in college. What does that timeline look like? And then the idea is, okay, well, how do we then take that timeline and how do we modify it so that you're not forced on this linear progression from here to here? Because you might be somebody that at a very, very young age is amazing at geometry, which falls here in this timeline. But if I'm forcing you through this linear path, I'll never know that until I get to geometry, and you may have already built out some sort of crazy aversion to math in this area. So instead, we're creating it as a circle instead of a line. And instead of connecting these things in a linear progression, we're saying, okay, let's understand that the intersections of the circle are the foundations for the progressively larger sections like this, and let's put that math timeline like that, so we have the highest level stuff out here, we have the simplest stuff here, and then a student can choose where they are within this circle, and we have structures for teaching it all. And if they choose something that's too challenging, it's very easy to see the foundations that they need. But if they're willing to embrace a more challenging concept, then we've got the smaller classrooms and the hands-on ability and the structure that we're putting in place to support that student and help them and say, okay, you're 8 years old, but you want to learn high-level geometry, and you seem like you're ready for that. Okay, let's engage geometry and see what you can do, and let's support this desire to achieve at that level, and then we'll fill in the blanks. And by grasping these higher level concepts, the easier concepts fall into place. And this idea really came from, like, in the United States, spelling is something that's taught. We were talking to one of our team members in Ukraine, and in her country, spelling is not taught at all. And I would say Ukrainian is probably harder spelling than English to grasp. So, but the point is she said, we just teach reading and all our kids learn how to spell. It's not an issue. And so we were talking about, like, wait a minute, I've done this with my son as well. I've taught him algebra at age 4, and he learned, in teaching algebra, we learned addition and subtraction and all this other simple stuff because it's a part of algebra. And so by teaching the larger concept and making it fun so he never felt super challenged by it, then he learned all these other things, and now you've got a 5-year-old that knows his multiplication tables and addition, subtraction, and fractions, and addition, subtraction, multiplication of fractions, and all this kind of stuff because he was interested in this. And I didn't say, no, you have to learn this stuff first. I said, okay, you're interested in that. Let's learn that. Let's do that. Cool. How am I doing as a teacher? Is this fun? Is this interesting to you? You want to keep doing it? You do? Excellent. Then let's do it. Sweet. We're talking algebra. Wild. And same thing with geometry, and now we're getting into basic calculus and this kind of stuff. Loves it. So we're building the entire education program like that. And in this last week, we completed the math template, and what we did to do that is we took California guidelines for every year of school and what's expected to be taught first grade, second grade, third grade, and we broke that all up, and we said, okay, or rather we made a timeline of what needs to be taught all the way through a super superior high school education and preparing kids for the SATs. And then we said, okay, this is what that timeline looks like, and then now let's break this up into 7 different sections and what that's going to look like. So we've got the most intense stuff out here, the simplest, super basic kindergarten stuff here, and then let's eliminate the idea that it has to be taught within these guidelines. Instead, let's make sure that our kids are achieving where they should be achieving within the different accepted age groups, but let's free them from this linear progression. And so, product of lots and lots of research, and to create the Education for Life program, we studied Waldorf and Montessori and Reggio and Orff and Study Tech and Bloom's Taxonomy and 8 Intelligences and all of the amazing out-of-the-box education programs that are available currently on this planet, and put all those things together to create this Strategies of Being page, to create this math timeline, and this idea of how we're teaching all this stuff. We've looked at it all. So Education for Life program is rocking along. And then in addition to that, I said that one of our team members has completed the 30 themes outline. And I say one of our team members because now we've got 2 more team members that are then going through that. And then I'll go through it also. So when it's done, we'll have 4 team members that have just really put their minds to just this one piece, plus everybody else on the team that will just kind of scan it and not really, whatever they want to add. And then we put that out to the world as part of the global collaborative. And this is all part of the bigger picture of how we're doing everything, right? We put in the 30 hours of research on shower heads. We put in the 30 hours of research on the 30 themes. And then, or really it'll probably be more like 50 once we've all looked at it. And then we put that out to the world and say, okay, we've got the framework. You can see where we're going with this. You can see how it works, what it looks like. If you've got cool ideas, submit them, and we will keep updating and progressively growing the website to make it even better so that the resource becomes a global collaborative, a global cooperative, an even better, useful tool for even more people. And it's accessible to everybody through the internet, and anybody can then add their ideas, and then as we put these into implementation, we start using them on the property. Everything we do to problem solve and evolve this whole thing will be open source. You can see the entire path from idea to launch to evolution, and then it'll just continue to progress. and making a better and better tool for everybody. Well, that philosophy is applied to everything. It's applied to our food infrastructure, it's applied to our housing infrastructure, it's applied to our energy infrastructure, it's applied to our social architecture, recreational model, personal growth model, the education plan, obviously, global stewardship, and local stewardship as well. Highest good for all, nonprofit for-profit business models, all these things, this idea of how the whole thing is developed, because we want to teach people the developmental process as much as we want to teach people the end result, so the people that want to take what we're doing and do it differently can. And so the 30 themes that we've got are weekly themes that will plug into the Education for Life program, and those weekly themes will be how the theme could be something like space, outer space, or the theme could be something like just space, the concept of space around me. And then within that theme of space, or maybe the theme would be inner world, like the inside of anything. So the concept is inside, and that is this big global concept that is the theme for the week. And within that concept of inside, you'll teach math, English, science, social studies, art and music, all health, all those primary subjects that are necessary and taught in traditional schooling systems and are required by the California system, which is the one that we're modeling after because it's one of the strictest and most comprehensive, is all those subjects will be taught within this concept of space or outer space or inner world. And then you'll teach all those, there's this big why for why you're doing everything. And so we've got those 30 themes are all now outlined behind the scenes, and now we're going through and going, okay, well, if this is the idea of inner world, how would you teach math from this idea of inner world, right? What is that? Well, how would you define inner world? Oh, you could see your circular system as part of your inner world, and let's measure your heart rate, and let's calculate out what that is, and let's do studies on, from a health perspective, on what happens with lower heart rates and higher heart rates and exercise and all that. And now we've gone on this journey of math and inner world exploration, and it all has meaning, it all has value, and you can adapt that to whatever learning level anybody was at. So if it's a small child, you're just learning how to count, taking pulse, and learning that you have a pulse. For a very advanced student, you might be charting different changes and algorithms and how it works throughout your day, as far as how your heart rate varies from morning until evening. The whole concept is, let's use heart rate as our inner world teaching tool. Let's use inner world as our weekly umbrella of what we're teaching, and then let's teach math, right? And then let's teach social science and all these different things within that context. And so it's super malleable, it's super adaptable, and you can individualize it very easily, and it's meant to be really, really interesting. And to teach higher level to integrate higher level concepts, get away from the idea of just learning to count to learn to count, instead learning how to apply knowledge, learning how to learn as much as learning what to learn, providing knowledge and information, but really providing a context for use, and then a framework so that children that are anybody, any age that's drawn to a specific subject has a really clear framework and a really clear pathway to follow to become elite within that subject if they want to, or just to enrich their life as much as possible with it. So, yeah, way cool. And then the other three things I mentioned, so we finished linking all of the sustainabilitynonprofit.org website is now linked to the onecommunityglobal.org website. We redesigned all the menus on the side and on the top so that website, which is really kind of a front page, it's like a portal to the bigger website. And originally we were going to make it an overview website, and then we realized, hey, if we're going to try and simplify One Community into this, we've been simplifying and redesigning all of our pages one at a time, which is why we redesigned our Sego Center page. We're just simplifying them and making them clear, and a really clear structure to our whole website, because it's going to evolve indefinitely. It's already a couple hundred pages, more than a couple hundred pages. It's going to evolve into thousands of pages. As more and more team members come on, this website will keep growing forever, and so we want to make it as easy to navigate as possible. And so originally sustainabilitynonprofit.org was going to be the website to do that, and then we realized, well, we should just do that on the main site. And so we've linked sustainabilitynonprofit.org all over to the main site, because now the main site has been simplified enough to where we feel that sustainabilitynonprofit.org is great to be there, but really it should just get people to the main site. And so that update's pretty big. And part of that came along with the fact that we're really marketing right now and seeking help, volunteers to join us as specifically, we're really looking for engineering volunteers, and we're really looking for 3D artists to join our amazing 3D team. But we could use, man, we could use a lot more 3D people, and we could definitely use some engineers that like to be part of our world-changing team, and just world-changing people that are looking for a place to apply their skills. One Community is it. And so in doing that, we've put out a whole bunch of marketing stuff, and we were looking at that webpage because we've got a Google Google AdWords account that's pointing at that website. And so that's one of the reasons why I've updated that. And everything is going really well. So thanks for the people that are contacting us saying that they'd like to help. If you or anybody you know is one of those people, there's lots of ways to participate in One Community, from the pioneers that will be moving onto the property and building everything, that are meeting weekly as part of our team and checking off all these action items, to our amazing consultants that you hear me talking about, like Philip Gill and like Dave Wallen and like Carl Harris, and these people that are just donating their time to creating world change and helping us to continue to move forward. So, and then of course we have a Satellite Pioneer option too, for people that want to join our team, be a part of the weekly calls, be a part of all the stuff that we're doing behind the scenes, with the idea that they're going to build one of these first duplicate teacher demonstration communities, villages, and cities somewhere else. And so the idea is being a part of our managerial process and behind the scenes process to learn that, because it's a big part of what it is that we're creating, and the organizational aspects are necessary for running an organization like ours, understanding those. And so for people that want to learn that, that's a Satellite Pioneer option as well. So, and then the other thing that we did this last week was we've added a whole ton of security measures to our website. So, our website's has been hacked. It's quite a lot. I mean, spam is just a problem in general, if you own a website and you're running a website. But a website like ours, it seems that it has drawn some specific attacks where we've had our database deleted 2 or 3 times, and really is a bummer, because we're doing so much work and we're putting out so much open source and free shared content every single day, that even to restore to a backup that was 1 day earlier can be super time consuming, because we have to recreate everything that was done in the last 24 hours. And we track everything that we're doing through the ACE application. So one nice thing is we know what everybody has done every single day working on our project, because we're logging that. We have Google Docs, and we have that stuff stored, so it's not as hard as it would be if we weren't doing that to replace it, but it's still a big time waster. And so we've added a bunch more security measures to our website, and we've added several more backups, daily backups now, so we're constantly having backups happening throughout the day. And so it's pretty exciting now, because if our website were to be destroyed, we wouldn't lose hardly anything, and we can just get it up. So if you've ever gone to our website and seen our entire website is suddenly gone, which is really exciting for somebody like me to log on and go, oh my God, our website's gone, that's why. Somebody deleted our database, and so we have to go and restore the whole thing, and I guess it's just part of running a website. So, but now that will not take us down for very long, because we've got so many backups and stuff that we're doing. And the last thing that I said was we announced 3 new partners. Kim Brahman, who is a 5th generation beekeeper and apiary expert, has joined the team to help us with our open source beekeeping details. And then also Eric Puro and Poosh.org has joined us as well. Poosh.org is an organization connecting projects to people wanting to work, or sustainability projects to people wanting to work on sustainability projects. And so putting those 2 groups together, you have a labor force that wants hands-on experience, you have an organization that needs a labor force and has hands-on experience to provide. It's exactly what One Community is all about, and you can connect those 2 together and get people working on the things that they want to work on, spreading and learning this information, taking it out, and putting it even more places around the world. And so we're excited to partner with Poosh.org, and Eric has already given some great input on a few of our pages that has led to us adding some additional resources to the Earthbag Village materials page, for instance. And so we're excited to have Eric, who's the co-founder of the Poosh.org, and his organization partnering with us now as our newest One Community partners. So with that, that's our update for the week. Thanks as always for following us. If there's one thing that we need right now, how to help us most right now would be if you know somebody that has the means, the ability to possibly help with funding one community, specifically purchasing the property and getting the property off the market. And then we could either repay that or as a donation to our 501c3 nonprofit. That would be the biggest thing that could help us right now. We've spent 3 years working on this property and building a relationship with the county. Has everything that we need to build this first teacher demonstration community village, but not just everything necessary to build it. It's got everything that we need to share it. The location is perfect for us to be able to start sharing one community within the first 6 or 8 months of being on the property, starting to invite people out, getting people hands-on, getting more and more people involved so they can see what it is that we're creating, they can experience it, and then they can go out there and start additional communities, start additional villages and cities, sustainable villages, and this is the self-replicating model. This property is designed for that indefinite, ongoing process of teaching people what it is and sharing what it is that we're doing, and then giving them the open source and free shared blueprints so we can spread this model worldwide. And so we'd love to get that property off the market, and it would help us to accelerate what it is that we're doing. So if you know anybody, people say, well, how much would it cost? Well, it takes one person with the means, and we've got all the details. If you go to onecommunityglobal.org/funding, you can see the page that talks about exactly what it is that we're looking for. And so we would love help, connections with that. Sharing our work is also another thing to do. If you just share our stuff on Facebook or through Twitter, things like that, getting the word out on the pages that you think are most interesting and most representative of what it is that we're doing. Those shares help to communicate to us what it is that people like, and then they help communicate to the world what it is that we're doing from the mindset of the people that like the pages that you like. And so if there's any pages or anything that we're talking about, updates and stuff that you think is worthy of sharing, we are super grateful for all that sharing. And we thank you for supporting us in that way. So with that, thank you very much. As always, signing off until next week, we will keep on getting her done and keep on keeping on. Thank you for all your support and all your wonderful emails, and with gratitude.